And this is, tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. By Terry Bisson. Mr. President, you might want to take this. It's that NASA fellow you met last month at the Kennedy Center reception. Good. What's his name? Palavar? Put him through. Hello. This is the president speaking. Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. What? Hello. This is Dr. Salivard, Mr. President, from NASA. Remember we met at the Kennedy Center affair and you gave me this number and you said I was to call you directly first thing when we got some results, not to wait until the entire scientific community had been... Yes, I remember, Dr. Salivard. So what do you have for me? We have a signal, sir, what we call a specific. Nothing absolutely positive yet, but do you mean an extraterrestrial communication of some sort? It would seem that way, sir. Seem? Can you tell me something definite? Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. What makes you so sure it's from an intelligent source? The pattern, Mr. President. The signal we are receiving is not a cycling repetition, but a series of low-wave spikes in a numerical pattern known as an ascending logarithm. Almost certain sign of intelligence and intentionality. We're pretty sure it's a communication. Sure enough to describe it to my cabinet tomorrow morning, plus a few select guests from the Hill. Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. You can do it by satellite phone link. We're having a pre-breakfast meeting here at the White House. My staff will ring you in at 8 a.m. sharp. Hope I don't need to tell you not to breathe a word of this to anybody. Gentlemen, ladies, we have a surprise guest on the line by satellite, Dr. Bruno Salivard, who is in charge of NASA's new project. You wouldn't be sitting here if you didn't know what that was all about, or the importance I attach to this endeavor. Dr. Salivard, go ahead and tell them what you told me. Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. Now, we have time for a few questions. You can ask Dr. Salivard directly since we're hooked up to a speakerphone. Senator. Dr. Salivard, what makes you so certain this is a signal from an extraterrestrial intelligence? Couldn't it be a pulsar or even a reflected radio beep from one of our satellites? Senator, we have corrected for all that. The signal comes to us from the system Goradel 3433b toward the center of the galaxy. Almost a near neighbor, you might say. Admiral, did you have a question? Yes, Mr. President. Any idea what this near neighbor is trying to tell us, Professor? Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. I have a question. This is Congresswoman Elaine Longwood from Chicago. What's the procedure for converting this logarithmic math sequence into words? How long before we get a message in language we can understand? That's our first priority, Congresswoman. Even as we speak, the signal is being run through NASA's 986-base syntax extrapolator. If we come up with a computable formula, what we call a friendly stack, then, speaking of friendly, do we think they are friendly? Are we sharing this information with the other NAFTA nations? Any chance they might be human like us? Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. Thank you, Dr. Salivard. I'm going to have to cut off questions here, ladies and gentlemen, so Dr. Salivard can get back to work. You will keep us posted on further developments through my staff here at the White House. Dr. Salivard, thank you for joining us. I hope I don't need to tell you. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. Dr. Salivard, is that you? I have the President on the line. Can you hold? Of course. Hello, Dr. Salivard. President here. Any progress? Are we any closer to actually deciphering this alien message if it's in fact a message for us? No question, but it's aimed at us, Mr. President. It's what we call double specific. Currently localized, and the signal is getting stronger. As a matter of fact, the signal's intensity and frequency have increased by a factor of 4 since your White House meeting 2 days ago. Nothing your psychic exterminator can't handle, I hope. Syntax extrapolator, Mr. President, works on the principle that I was making a joke, Dr. Salivard. That's not why I called. I called to tell you that I'm speaking to the Security Council this afternoon in closed session. As a matter of fact, I'm putting my hat on right now. I'm on my way to the UN. Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. The news is going to leak out sooner or later, Professor. I don't want it to look like we're trying to hog this whole deal. Yes, sir. I only wish we had something more, well, definite. You will, and I expect you to call as soon as you do. night or day. I have you routed directly into the Oval Office. All you have to do is ask for me. Yes, sir, Mr. President. Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. Salvard, is that you? This is the President. How'd it go, sir? The UN meeting? Pretty good. Great, in fact. Got them all sitting on the edge of their chairs. How soon can we give them something? I need a word, a phrase, even if it's just, hello, how are you? How soon? I don't know, Mr. President. Could be within hours, days at the most. The syntax extrapolator is showing 89% completion, and it's cooking right along. If we don't lose the signal before it finishes, lose the signal? Why should we lose the signal? Is there something you're not telling me? No, sir. It's just that we've got the syntax extrapolator programmed in what we call backspin mode, which means that it can only analyze a completed message. As long as the signal doesn't fade before it finishes, we're okay. I'm counting on you to see that it doesn't, Salvard. Meanwhile, I think we better go public with this thing right now before the tabloids beat us to it. I want to take it to the people tonight. Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. I'm the president, Mr. Salvard. I can't go on talk shows. That's what we have vice presidents for. But he hasn't been briefed on all this. That's why I'm counting on you. Tell them they are all full of shit and they should fuck off. Letterman is bigger than Leno, Salvard. Just don't let him bully you. Make sure you get your point across. Tell them they are all full of shit and they should fuck off. Welcome to the show, Dr. Salvard. Let me get this straight. This is your job? To talk to spacemen? Your day job? Tell them they are all full of shit and they should fuck off. And you get paid for it. I mean, like a salary. It's our tax money, folks. Shouldn't we know what they do with it? Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. Are these guys call and collect? Can we get one of these spacemen on the show? Our syntax extrapolation program is based on the completion of the rising frequency curve, Dave. Until the algorithm is completed, we won't have anything. We expect it to terminate within hours, and then we will have the first message from an alien intelligence. Dr. Salvard, have you checked your answering machine? Maybe something came in while you were in the green room. Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. There weren't any little green men in the green room, were there? Hope they're not coming here hoping to collect welfare. Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. Thank you for being on the show, Dr. Salvard. Taking off from what I'm sure is a busy schedule on the phone with the president and so forth. Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. Salvard, is that you? This is the president speaking. Caught you on Letterman last night. Sorry I was so nervous, Mr. President. You were fine. I didn't sound repetitive to you. Look, you didn't let him bully you, and you got your point across. That's the bottom line. Why so gloomy? Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. Is there something you're not telling me? The signal, sir. It started what we call its descending logarithm last night while I was in New York. By the time I got back here to Huntsville, it had already started to fade. Fade? What do we have so far? 96%, Mr. President. So? I know that sounds like a lot, sir. But remember, I told you that our syntax extrapolation program is based on the completion of the algorithmic curve. If the sequence is truncated without completion, we get zip. Zip? It's like a sentence where the last word is the one that explains everything. Noun, verb, everything. We're still getting a signal, but that settles it. I'm going to go on the air and address the nation tonight while we have a fish on the line, so to speak. Tell them they are all full of shit and they should fuck off. I'm going to tell them it doesn't matter what the message is. The exciting news is there is a message. We're not alone. There's somebody out there. Somebody who wants to get in touch with us. And Salvard. Yes, Mr. President. Don't let them hang up. I'm counting on you. Mr. President, I think you want to take this. It's Salvard, is that you? What did you think of my fireside chat? Do you have any more news for me? Yes, sir. Bad news, Mr. President. The worst. Shit. I knew it. We lost our signal before the extrapolation was completed. All we're looking at here is some math which could say nothing or anything. I'm sorry, Mr. President. I should have what? Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. What? Hello? I said I don't know, sir. There's no way to make the program run any faster. If we had another shot, we could articulate a compression sequence and run it through a compiler, which might give us a head start, but Then don't apologize, Salvard. You did your best. At least we've affirmed that the program is not a waste of time, right? I mean, hell, now we know there's somebody out there, right? Tell them they're all full of shit and they should fuck off. So why don't I get a good feeling about this, Salvard? Could we have missed something? Missed something, sir? Could they have been telling us something we weren't ready for? Something we just didn't want to hear? I don't see how that could be, Mr. President. Well, maybe they'll call back. You'll have your program ready to go. Why wouldn't they call back? I don't see any reason why not, Mr. President. What? Hello? I said, I don't see why not, Mr. President. This is smoother. Amazing, isn't it? I guess it'd be even more amazing, as Oscar Wilde once said, if the water didn't fall. Oscar Wilde, the wiener guy? A famous funny saying guy from long ago. I think he played the piano too. Anyway, it could happen or not happen. What not happen? The water not fall. I get it. You're talking about smoother. I thought we weren't going to talk about smoother. Sorry, it's just that there it is, smoothing along, 120 miles a day, day after day. So what? So what does that have to do with us, you and me, here and now? Nothing and everything. Smoother's not even heading this way. Not now. I get it. You're talking about the whole world again. Well, for your information, at the rate it's going, smoother will take thousands of years to smooth out the entire world. More like hundreds. Do the math. Okay, I'll do the math. It's a mile wide, moves at about 5 miles per hour, 8.4 kilometers per hour to be exact, and smoother is 2.173 kilometers wide. Whatever, metric smoother then. Either way, we're talking about a long time. The world is huge. Smoother just smooths a little strip. That little strip, as you call it, gets longer and longer. Every year, Smoother smooths an area the size of England. Smoother's already smoothed a strip long enough to stretch around the world 5 times at the equator. Most of it worthless land, most of it ocean floor. In a few hundred years, the whole world will be as smooth and featureless as a pool ball, great beige cue ball. Lighten up. You and me won't even be around in a few hundred years. Our children will. We won't have any children. We don't have any children, and we never will if we spend our entire honeymoon worrying about smoother. It'd be more amazing if it didn't smooth, according to your wild man guy, and it could be worse. Smoother takes its time. It's moving at a walk. A fast walk. Still, people have plenty of time to get out of the way. Nobody's been killed by smoother since Malta, and that was sort of a sneak attack. And those villages in India? Hey, it wasn't Smoother's fault they didn't watch TV. They didn't have TV. Same difference. And they hung around, getting in the way, wanting to watch. I know how they felt. Everybody wants to watch. Not me. I got enough of smoother when I was in the army. You told me you only saw it at a distance once. Once was enough. I was in a helicopter. They were trying to cut it off with bombs. What was it like? Same as on TV. Ribbon of smooth nothing, about a mile wide, unrolling over everything. Flat, sort of beige. No noise. Kind of a hump in the front, about 4 stories high. I didn't mean smoother. I mean, what was it like trying to stop it? Stupid. Pointless. You saw it on TV. They shot at it, bombed it, tried to dig under it. Most of the guys killed were killed by friendly fire. Of course, the nuke. That was super stupid. What's stupid is doing nothing. You can't just let smoother smooth out the whole earth without trying to stop it. Sure you can, especially if there's nothing you can do about it. No matter what we do, it keeps going at the same speed, winding its way around the world, smoothing out whatever is in front of it, leaving behind that mile-wide smooth strip of nothing like a yellow brick road. Beige. Beige, then. Rain evaporates it as soon as it hits it. Won't burn, won't break, it won't... They say you can walk across it. You can jump up and down on it howling at the moon if you want to, but you can't get rid of it or change a damn thing about it. Once it's there, it's there. Period. Fini. End of story. Get it? Now who's the one who's getting all hot and bothered? Sorry. It's not smoother that bothers me. It's all the people who can't stop obsessing about it. Like me. I'm not mentioning any names. Notice how I'm not mentioning any names. So just forget smoother. Is that what you're saying? Exactly. What if you can't? It's a discipline. It's all about living in the now, which is our honeymoon, in case you've forgotten. Why don't you come over here? Not in the mood. Let's see what's on TV. Damn, I should have known. Smoother looks kind of peaceful on the small screen, doesn't it? Spiritual, almost. It's disgusting. It's smoothing a bunch of desert. Now tell me, is that so terrible? That's Africa. Last month it barely missed Kilimanjaro. See? A miss is as good as a mile. But it will get it eventually. That's the thing. It'll smooth over everything. No matter what it hits or misses, Smoother will keep going around and around the world, and every square inch is smooth. Girl, you got it bad. Why dwell on doom and gloom? You'll be gone long before it happens. In the meantime, why not sell the roses? Smell the roses. Whatever. Look at those elephants run. Smoother can be cool if you let yourself get into it. Remember when it went to China and took out a 20-mile section of the Great Wall? That was horrible. But spiritual, too. Nothing lasts forever. Not even the Great Wall of China. Not even the Taj Mahal. Or the portrait's still there. Most of it's gone. Is the glass half full or half empty? I say it's half full. What do you say when the glass is gone? Listen to you. Sometimes I think if there wasn't a Smoother, people would invent one, just to have something to worry about. Like me. I didn't mention any names, so I'm not mentioning any names. Just because I'm concerned, aren't you ever concerned? There's a difference between being concerned and being obsessed. When I see Smoother heading my way, I will worry. Until that happens, I want to enjoy our honeymoon. What's left of it. I get it. Your feelings are hurt. You think I care more about Smoother than about you. Well, don't you? Of course not. It's just that I hate Smoother so much. There's that word I hate. Seriously, life's too short to waste on hating. Just accept Smoother for what it is. Which is what? Maybe there are some mysteries we're not supposed to unravel. Think how boring life would be if nature had no secrets. Nature won't when Smoother gets through. Don't you ever wonder where it comes from? What it's doing here? Maybe it was here all along and we never noticed it. Maybe it dropped in from another galaxy. Maybe some crazy guy made it in his garage. Maybe it escaped from a bottle in a lab. Who knows? Pretty obvious what it's doing here. But why? Want to know my theory? I think Smoother is here to remind us that life is about change. Smoother is about the end of change. When it's finished, the Earth will be a smooth ball floating through space. No water, no wind, no people, no life at all. That's change, isn't it? Stop trying to control everything all the time. Think different. Live in the now. Hell, it's kind of pretty smoothing along across the veldt anyway. It is veldt, isn't it? Do you say the D? Or is it the savannah? Both, either, neither. I don't know. Never mind. Sooner or later, it's all just a big smooth yellow nothing anyway. Beige. You said yourself it was beige. Hey, why'd you turn the TV off? I thought you were sick of Smoother. I am, but I'd rather watch it than talk about it. Hey, this is our honeymoon. The water's still falling, as your wild man guy would say. Why don't you come over here with me? Because I'm not in the mood. Plus I have a headache. On our honeymoon? Try one of these. Tylenol? Better. It doesn't stop the pain. It goes straight to the brain and blocks the consciousness of pain. So you don't feel it. You feel it, but you don't feel it as pain. Might even work on your mood. Sounds good. I'll give it a shot. What's it called? And here's another one by Terry Bisson. It's 10:07:24. Hello, it's me. What is it this time? I have this great idea for a story. Not another science fiction story. Do you have any idea what time it is? Sure, it's 10:07:24. You're going to love this one. Please, I don't have time for it. This is a story about time, as a matter of fact. I can't use another time travel story. This is different. In this story, it's time itself that travels. So what? Time always travels. It stops, it goes. In this story, time does nothing but travel. It can't stop. It can't not travel. I said no science fiction. No way. This is speculative fiction based on the cutting-edge ideas of the new physics. This is real Rudy Rucker stuff. Imagine a universe where time never stops. It just rolls on, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second, millisecond by millisecond. I don't get it. What do you mean time never stops? There's no present, there's no now? Exactly. By the time you say the word now, that now is gone, and there's another now, then another, and another. Time only stops for like a second at a time? Is that the idea? Time doesn't stop at all. not for a second, not for a mini micro nanosecond. It keeps flowing along like a river, like an ever-rolling stream, like a bowling ball. That's ridiculous. There has to be a now where time stopped, like right now, 10:07:24. Otherwise, how could anything exist? In this universe we're talking about, everything exists in the now, but it's a moving now. Isn't that a contradiction in terms? A moving now. In our universe, in the real universe, yes. But in the speculative universe, it's the other way around. Look at it this way. When we visualize time, it's like a series of lakes, right? They're all. I'm not stupid. I know what time is like. Sorry. But now, visualize a universe in which somebody has blown the main dam, so to speak. Time is a stream, moving, flowing like a river, continually in motion. Ridiculous! Not only intelligence, but matter itself would be unthinkable under such conditions. But what if the moving now seemed perfectly normal to the denizens of this universe? Imagine it. Riding the foaming crest of time like surfers on a wave, poised between past and future in an ever-changing, never-ending now. Stop! Who'd want to read stuff like that? Makes you dizzy just to think about it. Exactly. It's dizzying, disturbing, exhilarating, thought-provoking. That's the whole idea. It'll start a whole new literary trend. We can call it chronopunk. Mind-blowing, new metafiction from the cutting edge of quantum physics where you're wasting your time. I can't imagine it. I won't bother to. A world in which time never stops, never even pauses. That's worse than science fiction. It's fantasy. But that's where you're wrong. Are you ready for the best part? I didn't make this up. It's all based on science fact. At least theory. I read about it in Omni. Omni? No wonder. Seriously, scientists are speculating that alternate universes where time might flow in a constant stream, where there's never a fixed chronological point, not even for a microsecond. It's never been demonstrated, of course, but it's possible, according to the laws of relativity and quantum mechanics. It's even probable. Like light matter? Exactly. Or suns. That's the beauty of science fiction. We can take the far-out ideas of theoretical physics, make them seem real by putting them in a story. I thought you said this wasn't science fiction. I was using the term loosely. I mean speculative. And there hasn't even been a hint of a story. I was just getting to the story. You have these people, a woman and a man, so you got a love interest. She's a scientist. She looks at her watch and suddenly, why is the woman always the scientist? Okay, he's the scientist then, whatever. He looks at his watch. What time is it, she asks. Well, he can't tell her. Time keeps changing. He waits for it to stop, but it doesn't. There's no now. Now is continually turning into then. I thought you said it was normal for them. Okay, what if it isn't? What if it wasn't? What if they were just noticing? You have to have a story. It could be funny. He looks at his watch and says, the time is. She says, well? He says, is. It could be hilarious. A guy looking at his watch and stuttering is not all that hilarious. It could be an adventure then. They try to do something about it. That's it. Of course. They're both scientists faced with the ultimate disaster. Runaway time. Maybe they try to stop time with an atomic clock or something. I hate to interrupt, but it's 10:07:24. Imagine the suspense. What if time runs out before they can stop it? What if... I hate to interrupt, but we've wasted enough time on this. You said yourself it's still 10:07:24. Yeah, it'll be another time before you know it. I'm going to have to pass on this story idea. Our readers want stories they can identify with, not wild speculations on theoretical physics set in bizarre alternate universes, no matter how thought-provoking. Try Math Magazine or something. One question, though. Well, it's still 10:07:24. What? What's a Rucky Rooter?